Now hey guys, welcome back to the channel in another Swiss001 video, and welcome back to another episode of the My Little Discovering Interesting Airports All Around the World series. Today we are in England, or in Scotland to be exact, and we're gonna check out the very interesting airport of Dundee today in Scotland. Yeah, this is a very interesting one indeed. Alright, but first of all, let's actually admire a little bit the graphics that we have here. Doesn't this look amazing? Okay, that's enough admiration. Let's just go ahead and fly. Alright, so we are actually on the general aviation ramp in a typical general aviation plane. That is the Cessna 172, for example. As you can see, we have a few Cessnas here on the ramp. Actually, we have pretty much only Cessnas. There's a King Air over here, but that's kind of it. This is actually a pretty nice place to fly your general aviation aircraft at. Let's just cheat ourselves onto the runway and see how this goes. Here we go. Let's just go for some flaps, and there we go. We can just take off like this. And perfect. Now for this landing, we obviously didn't use the whole runway, so that was perfect. I mean, this is a Cessna after all. Now, the thing is though that there's not only Cessnas flying here, there's actual airliner traffic as well, which is something that I find very interesting, especially for Europe standards. Small aviation fields like this don't usually have like scheduled service from airlines, right? But this one does. There we go. Now we are spawned inside of a plane that typically used to fly here at least, and that is the Dornier 328, which is a pretty nice turboprop plane, perfectly made for small airports like this. Yes, in 1997, the current terminal that this airport actually has was opened, and ever since then there has been actual scheduled service, which still might sound a little weird. For example, for many years now, there's been a direct connection to London City Airport, which, by the way, this airplane was used for a long time. So let's see, this obviously shouldn't be a problem, right, for a takeoff. No, right now this plane's not working. All right, now there we go. We are gaining quite a lot of speed. Turboprop planes, they are perfect for small runways. We're not even gonna need like any of that whole runway that we have here. By the way, I haven't mentioned the length of this one. This is only a 1400 meter long runway, which is around 4,500 feet. That is a bit very short, but no problem for planes like the Dornier 328. Let's get a little bit bigger, because actually on the ramp we can actually have a glance at quite a bigger aircraft that is actually a jet plane as well, and that is actually the Avro. Yeah, back when the terminal was opened here at the airport, they had a brand new route that ran a series of weekly flights to Majorca using the Avro. Not exactly this one, quite another model, but you know, they're all the same after all anyway. And these planes are also certified for pretty short runways. You can also see them a lot at London City Airport, for example, because again, they are pretty powerful, I guess. They can stop at pretty short runways as well. That's pretty good. And that's gonna be needed here as well. There we go. I think this might be the biggest plane to ever have like scheduled service in here, especially because this one is a jet plane. This actually is a very interesting plane itself. Just the fact that it doesn't have reverse thrust on its 4 engines, and also just the fact itself that it has 4 engines is amazing, right? This is so interesting. So this is gonna be pretty cool to see. All right, now don't disappoint me now. This is a pretty short runway actually, so we got to do this properly. Alright, that was, I guess, a landing. And there we go. We are stopping very quickly, just like this plane is supposed to do. That was perfect. Let's check that out. See, this plane, it's pretty nice. It's also pretty quiet in the cabin, but it's not a very smooth lander. Landings in this planes are usually pretty tough. And look how this plane actually accommodates for not having reverse thrust on its engines. As you can see, these flaps, they come out and they help this plane stop by quite a bit, actually, which is pretty cool. That was actually pretty nice. What does all that noise come from? That's... whatever. Okay, that was perfect as well. So yeah, that is all the kind of traffic that you see here at Dundee Airport. Right now, there's only one airline flying to this place, and it's Logan Air. Yes, Logan Air is also famous for operating the shortest flight ever. That one is like a minute. We have also talked about that one earlier. Logan Air connects this place with London City and Belfast City in their SOP 340 planes and ATR 42s. Very nice choice, by the way, Logan Air. Now, they actually wanted to start flying to this place in spring of 2020, but you know, COVID-19 and all that came and that didn't happen. So they're introducing that route in September 2020. So there's finally going to be traffic again, right? But yeah, small turboprop planes and maybe the Avro is pretty much the biggest traffic that you can see here. Really, the biggest plane to be certified to land here is the baby bus, the A318, or perhaps the Avro. It doesn't get any bigger than that. It's actually pretty interesting. In fact, the plane that we're in right now, the 737 737-800 is, it's illegal? Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not certified to operate at this place. Even though I'm pretty confident that this is gonna be a safe operation anyway. The 737, it's quite a tough one. It's no worries at all. By the way, have I mentioned how you mostly land from one side of the runway? Because of the pretty constant wind situation that we have here in the North Sea, you always land at this side of the runway, which is, by the way, the reason that only this side of the runway, the 09er side of the runway, is painted. I thought that was a fun fact. So there we go. That was pretty nice, huh? Let's move on to a bigger plane. This is not a smart idea. Let's maybe go a little bit very much bigger. How about something like the 767? This is gonna be interesting as well. All right, welcome aboard the 767. Without any livery. I could have, gone for some kind of British Airways livery, but that would be too much work, right? Let's just go and get this plane landed. We do actually have passengers on board. This is a pretty interesting approach as well. Where is the airport? I think we have flown very much past it. Okay. Let's hope we're not pushing the 767 to its limits, because this is a very interesting approach as well. Let me just mention there are no ILS systems or anything at this airport, only VFR flying, which makes the fact that there's actual airlines flying here is even more interesting. That was a pretty nice landing, huh? Especially for such a short field. But now the interesting part, the stopping part. Oh my god, that was nice. See, perfect landings like this just give me a little bit of pride. This is pretty nice. That was actually a pretty nice flight. There we go. I purposely landed a little bit in front of the touchdown zone so that we have a little bit more runway for ourselves, but that was perfect. See, no problem. What are you talking about with your, only A318s are allowed to fly here? No problem at all, right? I don't know, let's go a little bit exotic. Yeah, Concorde, let's do this. This is actually gonna be pretty interesting because the Concorde does need quite a long runway. We're probably gonna overshoot this one, but I think that's the sake of it. A little bit of a different plane now. See, the infamous droop snoot is coming down. Is droop snoot correct? I guess it is. We're a little fast, probably. This will be a pretty big failure anyway, so let's see what we can do. There we go. That was a touchdown. Let's get the reversers out. This is a little awkward because this actually worked. Okay. See, today I'm having a very good day. I'm managing to land quite a few planes on this pretty short runway, actually. This was quite impressive as well. Let's check this out. Oh wow, that was not a good landing though. We might have completely broken the Concorde. But this was, it was pretty nice anyway. It worked, that's the point. So no problem at all. All right, let's maybe stay a little bit exotic. What kind of other planes do we have that are a little on the bigger side? Oh yeah, Airbus Beluga. Okay, I mean, All right, welcome aboard the Airbus Beluga. This may not be the most realistic plane, but it is quite a big one. All right, we're coming in a little bit on the turbulent landing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, this is the actual first landing that was a complete failure, completely, Jesus Christ. All right, we're taking off again. This is definitely not working. Yeah, planes like this are probably not made to be flown here. Oh, don't crash into the road. Okay, let's just ignore this one. I don't know. So what can we say about Dundee Airport? It definitely is a pretty interesting one. Again, it is quite cool how they have actual airliner traffic here. That you're a little bit more connected as someone who lives here to the rest of the world, right? Because I can imagine living in the north of England might not be that nice of a thing. And actually this airport is good enough for most planes, maybe even the 747 with the space shuttle on it. Okay, maybe this is a pretty dumb example, but yeah guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Oh, what is going on? Something happened here with our plane. Jesus. All right, we're dead now.